Hi, and welcome back to America Reads Fun Learning Activities. We're college students who create learning activities for kids. Our learning activities are focused in reading, writing, and math. In today's video, we are going to be talking about prefixes and suffixes and how we can use them to build and break down words. We're going to start this video by going over the definition of prefix and suffix. Then we are going to go into the examples that we'll be using today of prefixes and suffixes for this grade level. And then we're going to end today's lesson with a fun matching game. Let's begin. The first definition is prefix. A prefix is a word placed in the beginning of a word to change its meaning. The second definition is suffix. A suffix is a word placed at the end of a word to change its meaning. We are now going to go into depth on how we can use prefixes and suffixes to change words we may already know or how to break down words with them if we are unsure of the word. Let's get started. The first prefix we'll be going over is re. Re, the prefix, means again. For example, if we had the word play and added re to it, the new word we would get is replay, which means to play again. Another example would be if we had the word start. If we add re to it, the new word we would have is restart, which would mean to start again. The next prefix we have is the prefix un. The prefix un means not or the opposite of. If we had the word kind and added un to the beginning of it, our new word would be unkind, which would mean not kind or the opposite of kind. Another example would be if we had the word tie. If we add the prefix un to it, our new word would be untie, which means not tied or the opposite of tied. Therefore, we're untying a shoe. Our next prefix is dis, which means not. If we had the word like and add the prefix dis to it, our new word would be dislike, which means not like. We don't like something. For another example, we have the word agree. If we had the word agree and added the prefix dis to it, what would our new word be? That's right, it would be disagree, which means to not agree. You're not agreeing with someone else. Our next prefix is the word pre. The prefix pre means before, to come before something. If we had the word view and added the prefix pre to it, our new word would be preview, which would mean that we are viewing it before something else. Our next suffix is which means a person who. For example, if we had the word sing and added to the end, we would have the new word of singer, which is a person who sings. Another example is paint. If we have the word paint and add we would have the new word of painter. Our last prefix is the prefix mis, which means wrong. If we have the word place, for example, and we add mis to the front of it, our new word would be misplaced, which means that we put something in the wrong place. Another example would be if we had the word spelled and added the prefix mis to it. Our new word would be misspelled. Therefore, it would be spelled wrong, meaning we spelled a word wrong. Let's move on to our first suffix. Our first suffix is er, which means more. Remember that suffixes go at the ending of a word. For example, if we have the word fast and add er to the end, we would have the new word of faster, which means we are going more fast than we were going before. Another example would be if we had the word slow and added the suffix er, we would have the word slower, which means we'd be going more slow than we were before. Our next suffix is est, which means most. For example, if we had the word small and added the suffix s to it, we would have the word smallest, which means it's the most small out of everything. Another example would mean kind. If we had the word kind and added s to it, we would have the word kindest, which means that we are the most kind out of everyone. Another suffix is full, which means full of. If we had the word hope and added full to the end, we would have the new word of hopeful, which would mean that we are full of hope. Another example would be the word color, and when adding the suffix full to the end, we would have the word colorful, which would mean full of color. Our last suffix is able. Able means able to be blank. For example, if we had the word accept and added able to the end, our new word would be acceptable, which means able to be accepted. For another example, we have wash. If we add able to the end, it would be washable, meaning it would be able to be washed. Now let's match some prefixes with their root word. Let's start with dis. Which one of these root words would dis go with? Distrust, disbehave, disable, or disturn? That's right, it would go with distrust, meaning that we cannot trust this person. Next we have re-behave, re-able, or return. It would go to return, meaning that we can bring it back again. Next we have misbehave, or misable. It would be misbehave, meaning that we are not behaving. Last we have unable, meaning that we are not able to do something. Now let's look at suffixes. Our first one is fear. Fear-able, fearful, fear-er, or fearful. It would go with fearful, meaning that we are full of fear. Next we have tall. Tall-able, taller, or tall-full. That's right, we would have taller, meaning that we are more tall than before. Next we have care. Care-able or careful. That's right, we would have careful, meaning that we are full of care. And lastly, we see that read matches with able, meaning that it would be readable or able to be read. You did such an amazing job today. Thank you for learning with us. I hope that you now feel comfortable on how to use prefixes and suffixes to build and break down words. I hope you also feel comfortable with identifying what a prefix and suffix is. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel and be back next week with more videos.